Hi, and welcome along to DR Transfers with my man Matisse.
Come on.
In the bit, I've seen you for a while,
It's
man.
been a while. I've been in Ireland, just chilling with the family, and now I'm back in London, the hustle and bustle. And yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready to talk football for the new season, so I'm excited.
I thought what it was is that you've gone into hiding because Chelsea hadn't done any business.
That too. And
then now that Chelsea have done a madness now, all of a sudden, they've just gone crazy. You've decided to show your face again.
It's a happy coincidence. you might be connecting the dots a little bit, but you know.
What a coincidence! No, I do know you were away in Ireland, but Chelsea have gone mad, haven't they?
Yeah.
I mean, they're making some great signings. I mean, Raheem Sterling. You're about to sign Koulibaly.
Yeah.
Nathan Ake.
Kimpembe as well.
Kimpembe.
Yeah. It's what was needed. You look at the centre-backs that we let go, Christensen, Rudiger, and everyone was like, you've got no defenders, your experience is gone, the foundation of your structure, which was really relied upon defence and keeping clean sheets when we're good, when we're at our best, that was ripped apart. And now we're starting to build that back. So it was 100% necessary. And you look at Koulibaly and Sterling at the moment, they're the only ones that are really over the line. They're just going straight into the lineup. They've got experience, proven at the highest level, for club and for country. And I think that's exactly what this team needs. We've got a lot of young players. When you talk about new signings, they need time to bed in, get used to the league. Obviously, Koulibaly's never played there before, but 31, very experienced, top-level defender for the last, 5-6 years. I'm confident that he can come in with his best friend Mendy, Senegalese, AFCON winners together. Great defence. They played some tragic football, but great defence. And yeah, I think he goes straight into the 11. So that's what we needed. And now it's just about, with Kimpembe, Ake, continuing to get more players. I do think that's a little bit much. I think we're actually overdoing it in defence by if we was to get both of them. But I think you need one more, and then you need to go and look at other areas. But this is all about solidifying top four, making sure your team don't creep up on mine. Do you know what I mean? I'm not trying to see any of that.
I mean, just going back to the Koulibaly thing, there have been some fans saying, well, yeah, we know he's a great centre-back. And, I think I saw that he's been in the Italian team of the year last 5 seasons. There's been a lot of times over the years we've compared him to Van Dijk. He's been that good, right? But the only thing is now he's knocking on a bit. You know what I mean? What's he, 31?
31, yeah. Same age as Van Dijk, yeah.
Are you getting him too late, or do you still think that, with a player like that, it doesn't matter? Because you're giving him a 5-year contract.
Yeah, so it was reported as a 5-year, and then the day after it came out as a 4-year with an option of an extra year, which is a little bit safer, but it's still a long time for a 31-year-old. We would never have done that in the Roman era. We always go over 1-year policy for over 30-year-olds, so it's a little bit of a shift. But I think if you're a top defender, which he is, you should be able, even if right now he's still very quick at 31, similar to Van Dijk. They're quite athletic centre-backs in the modern era. But if you need a situation in a couple of years' time where both of them their pace could start dropping, then that's where the intelligence comes in, the positioning, and these are the qualities that he has as well. So I don't think it's going to be a huge issue. I think defenders, they're in their peak around this age. Rudiger was a couple of years younger, but this is kind of the peak, late 20s, early 30s. And even if he comes into Chelsea and he's good for 3 seasons up until 34, and then there's a drop-off, I think that's fine. That's good value for money. We're paying 34 million. That's nothing these days. If you're going to get 3 high-end seasons and then maybe it becomes more of a peripheral player, when those younger defenders that he's taught kind of build up and then, they start to take over from the mantle and he becomes a little bit more of a backup, that's fine by me. It wasn't expensive.
Princel Kimpembe, I love his name. One of the best names in football, right?
Yeah.
Princel Kimpembe, you're looking at him as well as Nathan Ake at Chelsea. But what about Colwill,
yes,
who's centre-back at Chelsea, was out on loan Huddersfield last year. Yeah. Rave reviews.
Yeah.
Everybody's talking about. I mean, I see that every Premier League, well, not every, but lots and lots of Premier League teams are like, well, if you don't want him, Chelsea, we'll have him.
Yeah.
We saw Chelsea do this with Gay, who went to Crystal Palace last year and was one of their best players. Yeah. Is that a mistake? Do you need Princel Kimpembe if you've got Colwill?
I think you definitely...
Why not give him a chance?
Exactly. And that's the thing, right? We have brought through a lot of young players. We've also let a lot go. Tomori's another one, didn't get his chance in the second season under Lampard. Too many players over-preparing maybe at centre-back or not letting one go, and then he goes to AC Milan and wins the Serie A. So
and gets into the England team.
They could both end up really in the England squad, if they continue to perform at the level that they're at. So
why do you need Prince or Kimpembe?
I think we do need one centre-back out of Kimpembe and Ake, because we're losing Christensen and Rudiger and potentially Azpilicueta. And if you're looking at a starting lineup and you're saying, right, you don't want to throw a 19-year-old first season in the Premier League and Champions League level into the starting 11.
Yeah, but he's got next to him, he's going to have Koulibaly.
Yeah.
He's going to have Thiago Silva. I mean, you can't learn from two better centre backs.
I agree.
Than that, probably in world football.
100%.
So why not keep him?
I definitely think we should be keeping him, and that's why I don't want both. I don't think we need Ake and Kimpembe. I think you get one, and you get Colwill as an understudy to come into the starting 11 when need be. Silva's 38, so Silva will be rested. He'll be rotated, so that's where the gap emerges. You've got Trevor Chalobah on the other side on the right. So I think you bring in one left footer, Kimpembe and Ake both left footed. You bring in one, and you don't need the other. Then you keep Colwill, because, like you said, the track record and the trajectory is really high. Everybody's talking about him, and rightly so. He's a very, very good player. He's built like a centre back. He's the right height, great physicality, good ball playing centre back. And I think it would be a big mistake if we got Ake and Kimpembe and then Colwill was sold. It will probably be with a buyback, but I don't think we need to go through all of that.
As I said, lots of clubs queuing up. I think he's originally from Southampton. They're one of the clubs that's said to be really, really interested.
Along with Leicester.
In Leicester as well, would love to take him. So going to be interesting to see what happens with that situation.
Yeah.
One player it looks like Chelsea are not going to be taking is Cristiano Ronaldo.
Yeah.
Oh, he's putting his hands up and saying, they're that great up front. They don't need Cristiano Ronaldo, eh?
Do you know what it is? It's a short-term fix. And instead of actually sorting your actual issues out, it's like, instead of going to therapy, it's like just having a couple drinks. And that's what it is with Ronaldo. And that's what Man United did. And look, they got worse. And it's not Ronaldo's fault that they got worse.
He didn't get worse.
Yeah, he didn't. But they didn't have the team they didn't have the cake. They had the icing. They had
but you
cake.
do. You have better players.
We don't have the cake. Trust me.
You have better players.
No, we don't have the cake.
You have a better midfield in Manchester United. If you get those defenders in, you'll have a better defence. And you've got guys like Raheem Sterling, right, on one wing. You've got on the other wing. You've got guys like Mason Mount.
It's not enough.
Ronaldo would not. You're saying Ronaldo would not be successful at Chelsea?
I think he would get the goals, but I don't necessarily think as a team we would get better. I think it would be a cover-up. It would be like a plaster over a gunshot wound. That's
you're
what I would
saying.
call
You're in with Koulibaly. You're saying if he comes in for a few years, that's great.
I think,
but with Ronaldo, he could come in for even 2 seasons.
That would take him
he's
to
still fit, isn't he? He's still as fit.
But he's
as fit as a fiddle, isn't he?
He is. But my issue is, so Ronaldo doesn't press from the front, right? And we see that at Man United. He's not expected to. He's 37. You don't ask a 37-year-old to press from the front. Now, pressing from the front is a method of chance creation because you can win the ball high up the field, and it's a method of defence to not have gaping holes in midfield. We've got Kante and Jorginho, who are pretty injury prone, but also aging and a little bit, on a Jorginho side, not the quickest. If you have Ronaldo up top and then you have that type of midfield, you can get bypassed very quickly. And that's where defensively we'll have a lot of issues and will be a very easy team to get through. Manchester United didn't get their DM last year. They needed a DM. They got Ronaldo instead. And then defensively, they were all over the place as well. So I think it's better, in my opinion, to get the structure of your team correct. We need a midfielder, or we need to promote Ampadu. We need wingers. We need more chance creation. I think last season we were 4th for big chances created. And around about 4th for big chances missed. So everybody looks at Chelsea's attack and they say they're not finishing, which is correct. But we also don't create enough. If you look at Manchester City, Liverpool, they create more, so they can afford to miss more.
Comes through to the front, right?
Yeah, Robbie, I'm giving you the statistics, bro.
I would much rather.
You're giving me the vibes.
Well, you're giving me the statistics. Right?
You're giving me the vibes,
and I'm going to give you the real right now.
No, you're giving me the vibes. You take him.
The ball is played. Well, it's funny enough.
You need a striker.
Funny enough, though, I was posed the question when we did the live yesterday by a fan who asked the question, would you have him at Arsenal? I paused for a minute and I didn't know what to say. And then I had to say, listen, he's the GOAT. How can you turn him down?
He's not the GOAT anymore.
He's still, but look at his record last season, he was still brilliant. But going back to what I was about to say, right, you've just given me a load of stats. Let me give you a scenario now. Mason Mount picks up the ball, passes it over to Sterling.
Yeah.
He puts through a lovely through ball into the box. It falls to Ronaldo. Ronaldo to beat the goalkeeper. What do you reckon is going to happen?
He's going to put it in.
Now, scenario number 2.
I know what you're going to do here.
Mason Mount passes it to Raheem Sterling, who puts through a beautiful ball to Timo Werner. don't need to answer. Right? I think I know your answer already. You're not sure what's going to happen.
I am sure. I am sure.
He's going to miss.
He's going to miss. I am sure.
So,
don't worry.
yeah, stats versus the real. That's what I deal with here, right? But moving beyond Chelsea, talking to my team, Arsenal. Alexander Zinchenko linked with Arsenal today. Actually, two transfers here I'm going to talk about. Before I get to Zinchenko, Lisandro Martinez, who looked like the player that Arsenal had identified to come into play probably as a left back. Arsenal were looking for him as cover or cover stroke compete with Kieran Tierney, who's very injury prone on that left-hand side. When Arsenal, I was saying this on the show yesterday, when Arsenal first started bidding for him, it was like, seen like £30 million would be more than enough to get it done.
Yep.
Manchester United came in, of course, he used to play for Ten Hag as well, and the bidding has just gone mad. Arsenal dropped out when it got to about 43 million. They said it's too much. United are going to get Lisandro Martinez done now. He didn't train with Ajax today. It's going to be done. Probably end up with all the add-ons and everything around about £50 million.
Yeah.
Good deal, you think, for Man United? He used to play for Ten Hag as well?
Yeah, I think it makes more sense for him to go to Manchester United because of the manager. They're looking at De Jong. They were linked with Timber. They almost want to make a Ajax All-Stars team. So it makes sense for him to go there. And at least when you know he's adapting to the Premier League, he's under a manager who knows how to get the best out of him. He knows his strengths and weaknesses, etc.
Where's he going to play, though?
I think...
Because for Ajax, he played as a centre-back.
Yeah.
He's 5'9". I think... In the Premier League, that's a bit of a problem. No matter how good you are, in the Premier League, it's a lot more physical than the Eredivisie.
Yeah.
That could be a problem. Plus, as well, Maguire has just been given the captaincy, and you've got Varane.
Yeah. I think he'll play in the pivot in ahead of the defence. I think Maguire, Varane will probably start. I've seen Maguire's going to keep his captaincy. So I think he's going to try and... Unless he moves to a back three...
But then if they get him and he plays in the pivot... Where will Frankie de Jong play? Because it looks like they're going to get that deal done as well. Much as de Jong has been trying to stay at Barcelona, that looks like another deal that will happen for United, around about £65 million.
Yeah.
But he'd play in the pivot.
I think they play together. So I think you'd see a situation where Martinez is more of the sitter and he's more of the tenacious tackler and he gets involved and whatnot and tries to clean up. And then De Jong plays next to him as like this deep line playmaker, advances forward and does. So I think it's actually a combination. I think it's been played a few times at Ajax, I'm sure, under Ten Hag. So I think that's actually a duo that would work. And you could release your Fernandes, your Van der Beek ahead or whatever. But I do get your concerns with him being 5'9". Now he could have a great leap. He could be a spring, in the air. But people are going to target it. And as we were saying off there, like, even if a team isn't renowned for playing, long ball, say a Man City, if they see he's there and he potentially is struggling, stick Haaland on him and start crossing. And that could be a problem. So even teams that are not known for, throwing the ball forward like a Burnley, they will still just change their game and do it.
The Dutch league is,
yeah,
they try to play on the floor.
Yeah.
I mean, we try to play on the floor in the Premier League, but Premier League teams do mix it up.
Yeah. Brentford.
So, Ivan Toney.
Oi.
So, it's going to be interesting, but it does look like Lisandro Martinez definitely going to be joining Man United and Frankie de Jong. Arsenal now looks like they've turned their attentions to Alexander Zinchenko of Man City, Ukrainian. Yeah. What do you think of that?
I think it's a good deal. Very good deal. I think you could get him at a reasonable price. He's technical. He's played left back, so he's got the opportunity to fill in for Tierney if he's injured, which I do have massive question marks on whether Tierney can stay fit. That's the biggest issue. He's a very good player, but you need availability as an ability. You need that. So Zinchenko's experience playing there. He's also, for his country, played higher up in the midfield areas as well. And I think he could play in your midfield, maybe as a double pivot. And he's not, I wouldn't say he's a defensive midfielder, but he's now played left back. He knows, in his mind, he knows defensive responsibility.
Play deeper.
So I think he gives you some more balance, more Lokonga wouldn't, So I think that's a very smart signing. And yes,
if it happens,
it would be a second guy from Man City.
I think it was David Ornstein who was saying today that also looking at it, but he would be the manager came from Man City, so
yeah. He's just dipping into his contact book and just going through them and like, him, cool.
Who for you's had the best window so far?
I would say you're looking at City, of course, because not only are they bringing in Haaland, Alvarez, Cucurella, you expect Phillips, but they're also balancing the books because they're getting. I mean, we're literally just taking their players, right? They're B team.
On that, because I was having a chat with James today on AFTV, and he was posing the question: have City been weakened though? Because letting go a player like Sterling, for instance, he's a quality, top, world-class player.
Yeah.
Haaland is world-class, or is going towards that, but we haven't seen him yet in the Premier League.
Yeah.
Nor same with Alvarez. I mean, they're under Pep, so...
Yeah.
But have they kind of weakened the team a bit?
Nah, I think... the reason why I said they haven't as well, because I think when you win a title, you need to go again and bring in fresh faces who are hungry to win their first Premier League title, whereas Sterling's won it enough times now. He wasn't going to be a constant starter. He's obviously leading the line for England. I think he even needs a kickstart, and he needs a fresh start, and he needs to be feeling like the main man now. Whereas the guys that are coming in, they're hungry, they're under Pep. I can't question Pep with his attacking signings because he's the master of building an attack. So I think they will be fine. But you look at Grealish as well. He's had his second season. He's been about for a while as well. So you expect him to kick on and prove to be worth. I don't think he'll ever prove the 100 million, but prove to be worth more than he was last season. Had to adapt and whatnot. And Phillips comes in as well, and that's better than Fernandinho for sure. More legs, more athleticism. De Bruyne, if they push De Bruyne higher up and don't use him as a box to box and get him closer to goal. Remember that game he scored 4 goals. He's an unbelievable finisher, so they'll get more goals through him. I think they'll be fine. I mean, what's weaker to them? 95 points to 94.
So you put them the best window.
Yeah.
Who's next? Give us your top 3.
I'd say Tottenham at the moment. Richarlison, a little bit overpriced, but sorts out the attack. Perisic, yeah, Basuma. So that's great. And I think Leeds, even though they're starting to make they're making a few signings. They've made quite a few signings after Rafinha's exit. They've kind of done what Villa did, I guess, where they let Grealish go. But before,
you might have said Chelsea with the incomings they got.
No, not yet, because I don't want to gas us up too much, because I want us to go under the radar.
Up there as well. Made a couple of good ones.
Yeah,
so far.
I'd say Jesus is a good one. Who else? Marquinhos. I don't really know too much about him.
And Fabio Vieira.
Yeah. Pretty good. So you just need DM.
Need more.
And you need more. Yeah. Left back, yeah.
Yeah. Who else I think of?
Who else is there?
Probably are those ones.
West Ham are still trying.
I think definitely Chelsea are up there with
the
ones that have come in.
I'm trying to go under the radar.
Those are some great signings. Well, listen, Matisse, thank you very much. Hold on, wait a minute.
Aye.
Just before I go,
just
before we go, should I say, Matisse, I've got to just ask you about one player.
Okay.
What's the great Hakim Ziyech? Now,
outlasting Willian.
Surely you're not selling him, are you?
Where's Willian?
Surely you're not selling Hakim Ziyech.
Willian plays for Santos now. Corinthians.
Are you selling him?
Yeah.
Why?
I mean, listen. By the way, my only point is that he's better than Willian, not that he's good enough. Because I actually wanted Sancho, so I'm actually cool with this. He could be going to Milan. But listen,
that'd be a good move for him.
Willian's off the grid. Do you know what I'm saying? GTA, where you just go off the map and you start drowning in the ocean. That's Willian's gone.
Santos a big club in Brazil,
man. It's not the Prem though. Do you know what I mean? It's definitely a retirement.
All right, well, listen, Matisse, thank you very much. Thanks to you guys. Don't forget to subscribe here to DR Sports. We're here every day with the latest transfer news. So don't forget to do that, and we'll see you next week. See you next week. See you tomorrow.
Bye.